Hello, everybody, and welcome to Vigil Wildemount Chronicles here, our alternating content for Wednesdays at Proficiency Bonus. Before I pass it over to, Ink or Derek for some recap stuff, I'm gonna do some announcements. So, first of all, we would just want to thank our sponsors, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle Games. Little Dragon Corp is a Canadian dice company that has all kinds of awesome tabletop gear. You can check out their Twitter at LittleDragonCo1 to stay updated on all their awesome products, and you can use the coupon code PROBONUS, that's PROBONUS, when you head over to littledragoncorp.com, and you will get 10% off of your order, so please check them out for us. Additionally, our other sponsor, Cardboard Castle Games, is a lovely game store local to the Evans, Georgia area. Please give them your patronage if you find yourself there, or check them out online. Additionally, don't forget to check out our other games. The schedule should be posted below the Twitch video feed, or you can do the !schedule Twitch command in the chat. We stream every day here at Proficiency Bonus. We have games for several of the major published 5th edition modules, as well as some homebrew D&D games, and some of our games even feature systems other than 5e, so hopefully we've got something up your alley. We also now have a community Discord with public channels, so there should be a Discord banner button on our Twitch page that will link you to it, or you can do !Discord in the chat. And additionally, we're trying to get some subscriber games started, so if you subscribe to our Twitch, then you can sign up through the Discord to play in a monthly game hosted by our lovely DMs. So information... Ooh, why am I lagging? Hold on, everybody, I'm getting some lagginess. Okay, there, it's better. Yeah, so check that out because the info for that is on our Discord. And as another note here for Wednesday specifically, we just want to thank a composer named Adrian von Ziegler for some of the music that we use. He's a really, really talented composer with great content usage rules. You can check out his YouTube and his Patreon, and please support him if you can. And then Kristy, with regard to Mystic Hour, I know you're kind of on a bit of a hiatus for Star Wars stuff.
Until May. So for going forward, Star Wars will continue on its bi-weekly rotation, and then in May I will be coming back for some Mass Effect.
Yeah. So that unless anybody else has any other announcements, I can pass it over to Ink. Are you doing a recap?
I've got my book. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, so I am going to steal my other fellow DM for Wednesday's idea of having a player do recap. So, Ink, if you would like to take it away.
Of course. And this character actually takes better notes. So hello everyone. I am Dumka Raline. The esteemed son of the Raline family, all of that good stuff. You know me, you love me. I had my memory erased. And that was not very cool. So, at the beginning of last session, I learned that I had, after my night of drinking with Tremayne's wonderful friend Shashay, that we had gone back to their abode, and we had a little bit of a talk about my family, or more specifically, my Draconic ancestor. As it turns out, it seemed that Shashay was very aware of the sword that I carry, known as Casimir, as well as the fact that I am most likely descendant from Zolbeer, which is a blue dragon that we have recently learned about, known as the Redeemer. Shashay also revealed in this moment that they have strange purple scales all along their back. I do not know if this means that they are a wonderful sorcerer such as I, or if they are something a little bit more. They erased my memory so that they would not be the one to reveal such truths to me if I was not ready to know them. But Dumka is all about revealing truths. I speak in the third person sometimes. So I told my brother immediately, and then also went on to tell the rest of the party, minus our new add-on Beckett, who we are working on getting integrated into the group and getting on a contract, or not a contract, or however he would like to be added on. But given money, definitely. Because we were going to be having a dinner with Shashay to discuss the results of our mission in the temple. We gave over many of the artifacts that we had found, and Shashay seemed very much so wanting to press on what we had spoken about previously, and then everyone else sort of wanted to talk about it too, so I kind of just said, sure, why not? Let's all talk about me. Shashay revealed an incredible story, a creation myth from the Draconic perspective, talking about old gods such as Asgorath and Zotha, who did battle and spread blood across the earth. It was a lot. It was quite dense. But most notably, this myth talked about 6 different kinds of lifeblood, which seem to have maybe come from a god, but most importantly, if you collect all of the lifeblood, you have the power of creation at your fingertips. Much like possibly the necklace that has been absorbed inside my throat. One of the lifebloods, the brass, possibly, from Corva, the Brave. That, of course, didn't have to be the only revelation, though, because this was just everyone laying out all of their stuff. My brother liked to reveal to everyone that he is my number one hero, the Dark Phoenix, who has been fighting crime and injustice in Port Zoon, and gave forward the possibility that the Iron Line could be sort of a cover while he continues to do his work, and I can join him as his apprentice. Partner! I don't want to be a sidekick. The rest of the party was less excited about putting on funny costumes and fighting crime in the middle of the night, but I'm sure they will come around. With Beckett being integrated into the group and wanting to have a little bit of anonymity, we figured that perhaps this could be a good solution for this. After everyone had sort of gotten nice and unified, we talked about the future of the company and started to put some gold away for our first renovations, which are going to begin momentarily.
So, our adventure begins. I can't remember if we ended with you all taking a long rest last session, but we will say that this is the start of a new day. And so we talked about off stream a little bit about having kind of like a fast forward in time a little bit here. So on this first day, what would I know the discussion about getting a forge built into your building was one of the things you all wanted to do first. So what did you all want to go about doing that? We'll say everybody convenes back at the Iron Line this morning, and you're free to talk amongst yourselves.
Are we all agreed on? I think that the forge is the good way to go.
Considering everyone's skill sets, I think it would be the best investment.
I would say so.
It would take some time to get all put together.
Yeah, but it's a proper investment, yeah?
I think it is a good idea.
I could go out with a mirror and see if we can hire some contractors.
Alright.
Maybe get a little bit of a deal on it if I say the right thing. And then I believe Emir, are you here?
Yes, she is around. Yes, what can I... Do you need something?
We're talking about getting a forge put in here, and you said that you would be able to help oversee the construction and then work in house.
Yes, of course. I actually have two different places that I know that can install a forge relatively quickly. But unless you all had other ideas, the two places that I know of that are, of course, well known for doing it is, of course, the Silverbone Smithing Company. And also
what else?
Who else? You don't say.
Also, the Mineral Ventures is another reputable company that can install a forge relatively quickly.
Let's ring to that.
Mineral
Ventures.
Ventures. Okay.
That one.
That one.
Is this something you would like me to do on my own, or does someone want to come with me?
I'll be going with you. See if
Sure.
we can get a good deal.
Well, would you like to head out now, or is this something you want to do later?
Well, what is everyone else going to be doing?
Aside from, I was going to head back to where I do my blacksmithing and practice a little bit, but I wanted to finally start seriously training with that mall that we picked up.
Good plan. I have nothing in particular to do today. I'll probably be in my room doing some designs and leather work, but if anyone needs me, that's where I'll be. At least today.
Yes, I was planning on well, you see, I already started reading the guide of it was didn't I call it like Margaret's Magnificent Malls or something like that?
I think so, yeah. I think it was something like that.
Well, Reksha and I have already reviewed the literature just on the history and military use of the mall type weaponry, but going forward we're going to start implementing that into our training. So I don't really have anything to say about the forge either way. I'm gonna leave that to you guys.
You can watch me make you more beautiful weapons to kill things with.
And I can show you how to use those weapons if you don't already know.
Win-win.
Well then, Dumka, I'm ready whenever you are. Just let me
Question
know.
out of character. Question out of character.
Sure.
For like the leatherworking for Zach, if we get a forge, could Zach utilize it as well for that type of stuff? Or is it something
yes,
different?
it can be. It's not. You won't be able to do like tanning, but you typically have your own tools for that. It's not like you need like a station for doing that kind of thing.
All right.
But yeah, you could use the forge for like making like if you wanted to make studded leather armor.
That's what I was
use
thinking.
That for,
yeah,
you
that's
could use
what I was
that for
thinking. Okay.
leatherworking. Yeah.
Awesome. Then yeah, Zach's on full board for that one then.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay. Emir, let's go see if we can get ourselves a forge.
Sure. Just follow me. And then she'll lead you out into the city of Port Zoon. Out into... It's not terribly far away, since you all are kind of in the vicinity of a lot of the different forges and this kind of like harbor plus crafting district. And you come upon this is kind of like a unique building in Port Zoon. This is most of the buildings, have 4 walls and are very like closed off. This is actually a building that is one of the sides is actually open, so you can out in the public can see directly into this structure that they have. But they have this hanging sign that indeed says the Minerals Ventures. And as you walk up, doesn't seem to be anybody using their forges at this moment, but you are greeted by a individual, a human male. He has short black hair and a well-kept beard, and is wearing really nice clothing. You definitely can tell either this person doesn't do much smithing, or they are wearing like a different attire for clothes. They're more wearing like things you would go out with, not work in.
Okay.
But he sees you all approaching. You all step in through this big open. It's like basically just think of like a barn like door, except the whole wall is like this open area. And as you walk up to the building, Amir will kind of hold up her hand and be like, and she'll say, Goph, I brought you some business. Hopefully you don't have much going on. This is Dumka of the Iron Line, also currently my employers. Dumka, this is Goph. He is one of the owners of this establishment.
Hello, Goph. It is wonderful to meet you.
Oh, likewise. He'll walk up and reach out his hand to shake your hand.
I will shake. Dumka Lalane.
Oh, it's very nice to meet you. So, what can I do? Said you have business opportunity?
Yes. We are currently working on renovating our building for the Iron Line Mercenary Company. But what we were hoping to do is get a forge installed on site so that we could start producing our own equipment for our mercenaries. Would this be something that you would be able to do for us?
Yeah, that's definitely something we can do. That's kind of like our specialty. We typically install a lot of different kinds of forges. Are you looking for anything specific, or like a smaller forge, bigger? Like what are you looking to use the forge for? Like just weapons and armors, or are we talking like more like bigger things?
Nothing larger than personal equipment right now, but we do have multiple smiths on staff. Okay. So something that would allow multiple people possibly to make use of the space and possibly even doing a little bit of leatherworking, just sort of off on the side, not using the actual forge. But we have a wide variety of skills.
Sure. Let me take you around the shop and see what you like. And he'll basically just like lead you around to different stations that like different packages that they could install for you. One has like a bigger forge area where it's taken. Looks like it'd be easier to do things like great axes or like great swords or like plate armor. Like it looks like it's a little bit more like of a roomy type forge.
Okay.
There are smaller ones where it's more of a like. It looks like it'd be easier to like place in buildings, but would be a little bit harder to do like the bigger equipment. So more like daggers, short swords, long swords, that kind of stuff, like that size of things. There's all different kinds, different materials that it's made of. Some are made of just your typical stone. Some are made of like this like a marble almost. So it depends on what kind of aesthetic you want to go for. Also, there's different that kind of stuff.
Something with we need a lot of room. We're going to be making a lot of equipment, possibly even suits of armor. I like the marble. What colors of marble does it come in? Is it light? Is it dark?
We have a more like a grayish marble, and then we have more of a white that we can do. If you're looking for more for the bigger things, I would suggest a bigger forge. That would be a little bit easier to maneuver. But
all right, Dumka rolls his eyes into the back of his head and mind melds with his brother. I don't think you want white marble. I feel like you're looking at gray or darker, Kristy. All right. His eyes roll back forward.
Dark marble tabletops, you get that little bit of glitter in there. Oh, fuck yeah!
Yeah, so we're going to probably be going with a large forge, something dark now. Sure. Tell me about price and construction time.
Well, we're looking at time-wise, about 15 days is typically our construction time for especially a forge that you're looking. The bigger forges typically take a little bit longer, but about 15 days is about what we would need.
All right.
Prices, the one that you're looking at with the marble and he's going through, as you all have been walking around, he's had like a notepad and has been like writing things down, like things that you have mentioned that you would want, like, you know, like the marble, the bigger forge, that kind of stuff.
Multiple anvils.
Yeah, the extra like leather working kind of place where you could do some studded leather work and stuff like that. But as he's been going around, he goes through his list, and so it looks like with all of this stuff, we're looking at about 1,600 gold would be the price for construction. And like I said, that'd be about 15 days.
All right. That is definitely within budget. Do you offer any sort of payment packages that would be like, do you do it all up front, or is this on sort of do you do it on monthly installments, or is there like, so if we're going to be using your forges for our equipment, do you do anything such as like if we advertise our equipment back to you that we're using your forges, does that affect pricing at all?
He starts thinking to himself. Go ahead and make a persuasion check for me.
D&D, the game where you can live out your fantasies of being able to buy marble countertops.
I fucking love this. Derek, I literally said before it was out of your mouth, like marble countertop shopping, and you're like, marbles. I'm like, oh no, I love this so much.
It's a 23.
Okay. Starts thinking to himself, I think there's something we could work out. If are you planning on selling the equipment that you're making, or is it just for company use?
So what our budget plan, what sort of our roadmap is currently, is we're going to have a period of time where we're going to be constructing equipment to outfit our current mercenaries. And then after we've sort of reached that threshold, we're going to try and sell off a surplus. But we also want to make sure that we have some in-house in case we take on new hires. So there's going to be sort of a build-up period, and then we're going to be selling afterwards.
Okay. Well, once you start selling your equipment, if you do advertise that your equipment is made with our forges, I think I could mark off some cost for you. How was about 1,400? How's that sound?
That's wonderful. I think that's a really, really great price. That's in budget. And you said you could do this in 15 days?
Yes, about take us maybe a little bit less, but we like to push back the date just to be sure, you know.
As do we. We'd like to make sure that everything is going to be happening at a reasonable amount of time. What was your name one more time?
My name is Kof.
Gof.
Yes.
All right, Gof. You have yourself a deal with the Iron Line.
Okay. Well, let me introduce the individual that will actually be installing this forge. And he walks over to... They have like this small little back room with like a closed door off to the back. He walks back, knocks on the door, and you hear him say, Sornora, are you available to talk with some customers? And you hear a deeper feminine voice. Yes, just give me a second. Just one moment. She'll be out to talk to you. But not maybe a minute later, you see a long, red-haired dwarf that is braided all the way down, with the sides of her head shaved completely. And she walks up, and it's nice to meet you. She reaches out her hand, and my name is Sonora.
Sonora?
Yes.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Sonora. My name is Dumka.
So I hear that you're looking to install and forge, and she takes the little sheet that Kof was filling out and just takes a look over it. Now, this is definitely something we can do. When can we start working?
I believe that you could pretty much pick this up starting probably tomorrow. I just want to make sure that everyone knows to clear the space for you.
Sure.
But I can give you the address, and you can begin work probably starting tomorrow morning.
Okay. The hours we normally work are from 8 in the morning until about 5 in the afternoon. Hopefully that is okay time-wise with you.
Everyone is out by pretty much by sunfall?
Correct.
I think that will be fine.
Okay. And of course this is going to be making a lot of noise during the day, so hopefully that's not a big deal.
Got to get
with
work
construction,
done.
of course.
Mercenary companies are not quiet places anyway.
That's very true. Well, yes, I think everything is in order then. I will see you tomorrow morning. Right?
You may not be seeing me personally.
Okay.
This is going to be essentially our floor manager and also our in-house smith. This is Emir. You'll probably be working through her.
Well, it's nice to meet you. And she reaches out her hand. They shake hands.
Do it, Derek.
Well,
talk to yourself.
Do
it.
Kinship.
But Emir says, well, we will. I will see you tomorrow morning, and look forward to working with you. But
all right.
They both of them give a small bow, nothing too formal or anything, but bid you goodwill. And yeah, you make your way back to the Iron Line. So the people back at the Iron Line, you said, did you all want to work on the mall training right now, or is that something that you're going to be doing throughout the week?
I think it's ongoing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's ongoing.
Because it's not something you can just learn in a day.
No, it's definitely not. But this is what we're gonna do. What I want Tremayne to do is, I want you to make an athletics check.
Okay, I'm good at that.
Reksha, I want you to also make an athletics check.
Okay.
Ooh, 18.
And we'll see how.
Wait. Nope, that's the Iron Line stats. Dirty 20. No. 21.
Okay.
Dirty 20 because I rolled a 14.
All right. So yeah, you start off with a few simple lessons this day, and basically how we're gonna do this is we're gonna have 3 checks, and hopefully you all pass each one. That will determine how long it takes to learn the proficiency of malls, is how we're going to do this. So, that is 2 successes for each of you for doing it. So let me just go ahead and write that down really quick.
I'm really good at learning things.
Alrighty. So, you all are spending the day, or at least a little bit of this day, spent training in the open area of the Iron Lines building.
Smacks Tremayne across the face. Is this how you do it?
Smacks him back across the face. No, like this.
Zach is upstairs doing some leatherworking stuff, correct? And
I'm currently working on my brother's outfit.
Okay.
I'm probably at this point, he hasn't even touched the fabrics yet. He's just sketching out the designs and the layouts and the patterns. So he's probably finished the initial sketch phase and is now patterning it out. So yeah, that's what he's doing right now.
All right, sounds good. And Beckett, anything that you would want to be doing on this first day that everybody else is doing something, or?
He's probably either making sure he's getting his space set up or exploring the city.
Okay.
He hasn't really been in larger settlements like this very much, so he doesn't want to get lost, but he also doesn't want to ask for help.
Sure. Setting up your space, your living area up in the barracks portion of this building you can get that done maybe within an hour or so. It's not very hard, and Alifan will also attempt to help you, even though she's not very good at lifting things. But she's up there trying.
He probably humors her.
Uh-huh.
And lets her believe that she is helping when he would very much rather be doing this on his own. But he won't tell her to leave.
But yeah, as you're doing that, Dumka and Emir return to the Iron Line. So if there's anything you all want to talk about, if not, we'll kind of do a little bit of skipping around with time here. So, is there anything else anybody else wanted to talk about, or?
Dumka would explain like, "Hey, I basically got everything secured for us." Tell them the hours and be like, "I got them down from 1,600 MSRP to 1,400." On the grounds that after we start producing for retail, we're going to be advertising back to them, like probably stamp the armor and weapons and such with probably like their crest or something, just to advertise back to them, but save 200 gold pieces.
Corporations.
All right, so I think what we'll do now is just kind of go from person to person and go through certain days and go through it that way. So, all right, so Beckett, you said you wanted to do some exploring. Is there anything specific that you wanted to look for or do in the city?
He would be particularly interested in temples.
Okay.
And like how that works here versus what he's used to.
All right.
Because it's a very different sort of religion. So I think he would be very interested in at least going and visiting different temples. Sure. To just see, and he would just mostly be observing. He wouldn't really be interacting with any like acolytes or priests or anything like that. But if there's like a service going on, he might go and just kind of sit in and listen.
Sure.
He also, I think, would be particularly interested in how the guard in the city works versus what he's used to.
Okay.
But he also is kind of just like trying to make an internal map of the city so he doesn't just get lost when he's trying to do things. Like seeing where there are restaurants, seeing where there are businesses that might pertain specifically to him, gauging everybody's reactions to Saren and how it might be best to accommodate her in a place like this. Because I would assume usually going around, I would kind of let her go off and do her own thing in like the forests or in any sort of wilderness that we would be traveling through, because I trust her and she likes to go explore, but that can't really happen too much here in the city. So just kind of seeing how she can be accommodated here as well.
Okay. We'll go ahead and make just a general perception check, so you can, as you're walking around the city.
Couldn't find my abilities for some reason. 21.
Okay. So where you're staying with the Iron Line, of course, is it's a district called the Harbor Sphere. It's mainly docks, seafaring businesses, warehouses, a few different taverns and inns, that kind of thing, that are typically, as you go inside, in and out of these buildings, it's more like your typical like sailors, like kind of establishment. They cater to a lot of those. But as you move through, you do notice that there is a very big emphasis on the Allhammer. And as you get to the central hammer sphere, is the largest district of the city. It's crammed with hovels, students, student housings form the outer ring, while most industrious factories, forges, schools clusters around the center temple genesis of the Allhammer. There's also the big towering. Let me see, where's that at? Really quickly. There's a Gargantuan Temple of Morden looms over the city, which is what you saw when you first arrived in Port Zoon. There is it has large cables that tether its towering statue to other high points across the city. And this is also where the dangling from these cables are those glowing lanterns that light the evening sky with a flickering flame. But as you walk around, you see a few people. I mean, nothing too out of the ordinary that from what you've seen in other cities that you've passed through. It's kind of the same thing, except just more industrialized.
Okay.
And the guards here are a little bit different. They're a little bit like, there's not much crime that you've noticed. Like, you might see a few people like walking around like pickpocketing, but like it's not a big prominent thing. Like it seems like the Zalezo here keep like a good order about it. What else? You also asked about the temples. There are temples to different deities here. Of course, the main one is the Allhammer, Morden, which is, of course, the individual Reksha follows. But there are different temples to other deities, depending on which one you might want to interact with. But
are there any temples that are a bit more conspicuous than others that my eye might be drawn to a bit more?
Let's see.
Because he has no idea what he's looking for, so he's probably just going to be going into the one that looks the most interesting.
I mean, that one would probably be Morden. It's the biggest.
Yeah.
It's the biggest, and it's the one that's the most made.
Okay,
so,
then yeah, he would go there.
But you walk into and they have a giant, basically like a cathedral almost. I guess it'd be like the closest term to it.
Okay.
But it has an open sitting area with pews that you can go in and have quiet prayer if you want. There's a few people in here that is partaking in that. There is a few priests walking around talking with different people.
He'll sit down on a pew, just kind of sit quietly. Try to emulate what the other people are doing.
Okay. Let me see. Is Saren with you right now?
So walking through the city, what has kind of been my general perception of everyone's reactions to her?
People have been shocked and they've think of it like when someone sees a big dog or something like that, where it's
I know.
They cross the street when you're walking, that kind of thing.
I have a great day, and I do know.
Yes. So they're kind of doing that, where it's they're not running in terror or anything from you, but they aren't getting close. They're making space for you.
Okay, so
you do draw the attention of a few of the Zalezo that are the guards, mainly just because it's such a unique circumstance.
Okay.
They don't come up and like talk to you or anything.
So
but
they don't.
You do
they
notice.
Seem like
they do notice they're
is it,
keeping
like,
an eye.
bad
basically.
attention, like keeping an eye, or just like curious attention, keeping an eye?
Make an insight check for me.
$16.
A few each guard is a little bit different. Some of them are kind of worried that there is this seemingly black dragon that's also kind of just like walking around the city. Some of them are more curious. So
Okay.
it's like a mixed bag depending on the individual.
So if they're looking a bit more wary than just like curious, I will make sure to at least give them the polite, like,
smile,
white
wait.
man smile, sort of like,
Yeah.
nice to see you, kind of.
Gotcha. Okay.
But
as
if
you do that,
if with that, then she
wave.
would be with me. Yeah.
Okay. So as you sit down, Saren kind of just sits down next to you. Of course, she's a little too big to get in a pew.
I'll stay at like the back
yeah.
so that she can.
She sits
be,
next
like,
to you in the
yeah.
aisle, basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
One of the priests come up and is you a follower of Morden? I said this is the first time I believe I've seen you here.
No, but I am attempting to shop around, I suppose is the best way to put it.
Well, is there anything I can help you with, or would you just like to be left alone?
Just a bit curious of your practices.
Well, this is a temple to Morden, also known as the Allhammer, and he is the deity of smiths and forges. Seeing how the city is kind of built on that, of course, it makes sense that a lot of us have
quite prominent.
Settled here. But if there's anything I can do to help
I'll
or
be sure to reach out.
guide you, our doors are mostly open.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
and they'll give you a small bow and walk back, and you see them walk over to other people, start up a small conversation just like they did with you, and yeah, you're left there. After that interaction, just left there peacefully.
Kind of lets out a sigh, like a relief sigh, like social anxiety, the person's gone sort of sigh.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll just sit there, kind of just taking it in.
All right. And this can take place over multiple days too. You didn't necessarily exploring the whole city at one day, but was there anything else that you wanted to do with your week?
If there's anything that pops up with everybody else talking that he might help with at like the Iron Line, he would jump in and help with that stuff. Or I know that we kind of talked about someone doing some research into dragon stuff. If he can help with any of that, he might jump in as well. But other than that, he's just kind of trying to settle in. If he's going to be living here for a while, he wants to know the area.
Sure. All right. We will jump over to. Let's go with Tremayne. And what would you like to do with your time?
Vibe. Just vibe.
Just vibe?
Yeah.
You're just vibing, that's it?
Just the same thing like in the mornings and like afternoons, like just training Reksha with them all every day that he is available. And then I'm just like I literally just I swing by the anvil. And I'm just like I'm back early. Bye. Like
well, when you go to the anvil, you see Androx, is actually, of course, standing at the front door, just like you're how he is normally. and you walk in. You're didn't think you were gonna be back in a couple weeks.
How could I resist?
Vacation over already?
Yeah, I mean, how could I resist being without your beautiful face for so long? I had to come back early.
Yeah. Something tells me that you're, I don't know why you're trying to flatter me, but sure.
No, it's not flattery, it's honesty. Always honest.
Right. Well, you, assuming you're here to talk to,
Mochak, yeah.
well, he's in his office, if you would like to talk to him.
Okay, bye.
Bye. But you make your way to Motrak's office. I'm assuming you knock.
Yeah.
And come on in.
I go
You open
in.
the door, enter, and of course Motrak is sitting behind his desk like he typically is. So you're back early.
Yes, I am. I couldn't stay away. Love it. Love everything we have going on here. Just wanted to let you know that I'm back early. And that's it. Have a good day.
Well, since actually you're back, I could use your help. Not necessarily your help. Could use your fighting spirit in a match coming up soon. We actually had someone had some other business come up that they had to drop out of a fight.
Who dropped out?
So the bullet dropped out. They had a little bit of something else I have to ask them to do. So we have an open fight. I'm assuming you're free to take that on the 11th?
Yeah, I'm assuming I am. If that's like in the next week.
Yeah, it is. It's let me bring up my calendar. It is about
It's the 28th, so that's in like 2 weeks.
2 weeks basically.
Yeah,
a little bit under 2 weeks.
I'm totally free. Who is it? What are the terms? Like, lethal, non-lethal, weapons, magic, like what are we looking at here? One-on-one? Group?
This will be another one-on-one. Your opponent would be the woodpecker.
Okay.
This will be either fights until someone forfeits, or until one of you are dead. That is up to the participants in the fight. So, of course, anything else, fair game.
What do I know about the woodpecker? Have I ever watched them fight? Are they new? Are they like somebody I've fought before?
You've never fought them. You have seen them fight, and they wear they wear splint mail. And they wield a rapier. They are very fast in their fighting style.
They're a bottom.
They move around quite a bit. And from what you have seen, you don't know a lot about their fighting style, but they seem to be very skilled with their sword.
Have they ever fought some of the opponents that are on kind of an equal skill level to me, and have they always won, or has it been a mixed bag? Fighting people that are a similar skill level to me.
They typically have been a lot of the individuals actually in the Anvil are typically on the same level, outside of maybe a few. But this individual has won and lost fights, but it's never been by much. It's always seemed to be a very close fight between them and their opponent. So.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds totally fine. I'm super ready for that. Thank you for letting me know. The 11th.
Well, I'm glad. The 11th, yes.
Is it, the, friends that I brought along last time, and they ended up going downstairs, and they watched the fight, and they purchased drinks, and everything. They know the whole routine. Would they be invited again?
I wouldn't see why not, as long as they don't cause any issues. I would not see why not.
Could I add one more to that list? A new friend of mine, very quiet, very unassuming. I'm not even sure that they would want to show up, but if they're interested, I want to make sure there's a spot for them.
Like I said, as long as they don't cause any issues, sure.
No issues at all.
Okay.
Well, if that's it, bye!
Yep, see you on the 11th.
I will exit, and then, like, as I'm heading out by, Androx, yeah, I'm just gonna be like, see you later, buddy, missed you so much. See you on the 11th, I can't wait, I don't know what I'll do without you. And I leave.
Alright. So, let's go ahead and have both you and Reksha. Let's see, we did athletics before.
Should it be like some sort of an intelligence check, since it's like, because
think
I'm a battle master, so it's like I studied the weapons.
Yes, I was actually gonna say let's do an athletics check, but we're using intelligence instead of strength. So if you're proficient in athletics, you can use your proficiency bonus, but it's using your intelligence modifier.
Okay. Oh my god, I almost
Derek coming in with the correct way to call for skill checks as defined by Jeremy Crawford.
I just rolled real good.
Okay.
I just rolled real bad.
Okay.
5.
I rolled a natural 19, so that's a 23.
I rolled a natural 1, so that's 5.
Okay, so you spend some time trying to teach Reksha your type of like different forms of fighting, and more of like the like martial like maneuvers and that thing, and you quickly get maybe they're not the best person at learning that kind of things.
I'm not a battle master. I do not have your maneuvers. Please, I don't know what a feint is. Leave me alone.
Do you know what a parry is? Like, this is not hard. This is not complicated. This is one-on-one tactics. We're not even getting into, like, group military tactics. Like a phalanx or anything. Like, this is, like, if you can't get this, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do with you. Are you crying, or are you, what?
I need to go.
Did I just make Reksha cry?
For the first time, Reksha kind of storms off out of practice.
I just hit things and they bleed. Please, I don't want tactics.
After I do that, like at some point during my week, I am going to approach Beckett.
Sure.
Like whenever he's just like vibing. Hey Beckett, oh my god, like are you having a nice afternoon?
For the most part, that's not my accent. For the most part, yes.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. What have you and Siren been up to? Anything exciting?
I've just been exploring the city a bit.
Oh, okay. If you ever need a tour, just let me know. Unlike the rest of these people here, I actually grew up here and lived here my whole life. I can show you all the actual cool stuff and not the lame, annoying stuff. Just let me know, and I will. And you can. I'll show you around all the cool places. There's actually a cool place that I was kind of thinking of that I thought you might be interested in going to. But it's like really hush hush, super secret and super like you basically have to be a very important person to even get considered for an invite. But because you're friends with me and the Iron Line, you are invited. Have you ever been to like a fighting ring or like gone to like a fight where you pay and you just watch people hit each other?
No, I've never been to anything of the sort.
Would you be interested in seeing something like that?
I'm interested in any new experiences, honestly.
That's great. Yeah, on the 11th, I actually am going to be fighting somebody in the basement of a building for money. So, and I do that regularly. That's kind of like what I was doing before we started this. But yeah, like the others have been. That part is secret though, and no one actually knows that it's me. I have like a secret identity. Like I'm called the Basilisk.
The secret identity thing seems to be quite a theme with you all.
Yes, it is. Although that identity doesn't leave the basement that I fight in. That stays
the basement.
There.
The fighting basement.
The
Okay.
fighting basement, yes. Yeah, but so it's this place called the Anvil, which is like it's like a club that you go and watch fights, but there's a secret part of it called the Cleric Anvil, and when you get an invite, you get to watch like the really high stakes fights. The ones just in the regular Anvil, they don't fight to the death. They use blunted or wooden weapons, but the one that I fight in, magic, armor, killing people, drawing blood, all good. So you're invited.
Is Saren invited, or is this just me?
Yeah, you know what? I didn't ask that part, but the guy who runs it is a Dragonborn, and so like he definitely probably loves dragons and would love to meet her.
I think that's quite the assumption.
Oh, they love all that weird stuff. It's totally
We were
Okay.
allowed to bring in our tiny pets, I think.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
they didn't say that.
main point that my boss at the fighting ring brought up was just as long as people don't cause any sort of like big disruptions, so like don't fight other people in the audience or like throw up on somebody.
I definitely don't make a habit of throwing up on people. Those things are very different sides of the same spectrum. It's not necessarily myself that I'm a bit worried about as far as a disruption is concerned, but I have had some very strong reactions to Saren in the past, given that she's a dragon.
Yeah. I mean, if she's not good with like a cloud of people in an enclosed space underground, maybe not. But it's up
I like
to
look at her and go,
Miss, my esteemed Saren, are you interested in being in a basement enclosed with a bunch of people?
I will translate.
Sure.
You don't have to say yes. You can say no. You don't have to follow me everywhere.
That is true. Maybe, I don't know. When the time comes, maybe I'll just stay here and sleep. I'm not sure. I'll
Okay.
think about it.
We'll figure it out when the time comes. I will say in common.
Great, love that. Yeah, I'll let you know like the day before. Good talk. Let me know if you want that tour of Port Zoon from a real Port Zoon native.
Sure. Whenever you're free.
All right, I'll set something up like during the week, and I will give Beckett the little tour of all of, like the stuff that the locals know about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, gotcha. All right. During the week, also for you, Tremayne, you actually receive a letter from your good friend Sasha, requesting that you meet them for dinner, just you two.
Okay.
Just to catch up is what the letter says.
Okay, yeah.
This will take place on the 4th.
Uh-huh.
So, we will get to that here in a minute. But before then, a few days pass, and 4 individuals show up at the Iron Line.
Oh, are these the
They
people
walk
that I
in.
forgot to tell everybody about that are making money for us?
Yes. Yes, it is. These 4 people show up at the Iron Line. They walk in, they greet Halfein, and they drop off basically a chest onto or not a chest, like a large bag onto the counter, and you hear them talking, and one of the individuals is a gnome, a male gnome. He is wearing studded leather armor, carries 2 short swords on his waist. He has light brown hair and brown eyes, clean shaven face. But he is the one that appears to be talking for the 4. But you overhear, yes, the job was pretty easy, no complications on the way there or on the way back with just us. But it was a job pretty easy. So here's the rest of the money. And he looks over at Halfein expectingly as she goes through the money, takes out the 400 gold that belongs to the individuals, hands that back over to them, and she turns. Well, if they're actually the owners of the company are back, would you like to meet? Sure, of course. And you see Halfein come over to you all, where maybe we'll say you're in the dining area, and she comes in. Excuse me, the 4 individuals that we hired to do the other job that I told Tremayne about, they just returned. I figured that you might want to meet
I slow turn
everyone.
and look at Tremayne.
Oh my gosh, that like totally slipped my mind. Guys, like Halfein is so amazing. That she found this group of people to do a job for us while we were gone, and they made us 600 gold.
It was actually Emir that found the individuals. I found the job.
Emir
It was a
found
group
the
effort.
people. Ali found the job, and they made us some money.
But we didn't go anywhere. Who did you send with them?
They're just like people, but they are operating under our name, so that gives them like a bit more prestige, and people are.
Wait, hold on. Did we hire mercenaries?
Yeah.
Are they?
We got this job. It was for 1,000 gold to.
No, that's great. Yeah, that's great.
I thought Tremayne was. I'm sorry, Tremayne was supposed to talk to everyone about it, or I would have mentioned it sooner. I am sorry about.
It's not on you. You're good. You did a good thing.
You've basically come up to us and said that we just made a bunch of money that we didn't even know we were making. I'm so happy.
Halfein, let me just give you a quick lesson in finessing and just being amazing. I just surprised everybody and made their day so much better because we just have this money now that they didn't even know was coming. It's like a little gift. That is why I did that. I planned it.
What?
I planned
yes,
to wait.
I said for the first time, but how about
Surprise!
going forward? Great. No more of those, though, because, like,
Surprise!
if we
report the rest of the income for tax purposes.
We need to have a proper booking system. Like, we all need to be on the same page here if we're going to make money for this. And are they going to stay on, or are they just contracted?
They were just hired for this one job. Like I said, you all weren't here. I didn't know how to get in contact with you. So Emir knew some people.
All right.
So we hired them, and they for 1,000 gold we made 600. They made 100 each. I thought that was a good deal. So, but they're back. Would you want me to send them in here? Or do you want to meet them out there?
Oh.
We'll go out there.
I mean,
yeah, I'll go out.
Yeah, okay. I mean, they gave us the money. Do we have to? Okay.
Like
they
no one has to meet them if they don't want to.
No, that's fine. Puts down my napkin.
So, as you all walk out the door, like I said, the individual that is standing out in front of the other 3 is the male gnome, the one that wears the studded leather armor with the 2 short swords. There's also a female wood elf, also wearing studded leather armor, but has a longbow across her back. She has long brown hair with blue eyes. Then there is also a female halfling that is wearing blue and white robes. She is also she has this kind of like a walking cane that she seems to be putting weight on the left side. Looks like maybe her leg is maybe a little messed up. But she has short black hair and green eyes. Then there is a human male that wears split mail armor, has a shield on his back, and a warhammer at his side. This individual is a more heavy-set individual, completely bald on top of his head, and has a pretty well-kept beard that he has on his face. But as the gnome individual sees you all walk out, he speaks up. Hello there. My name is Lyric. This is my group of friends. We just did a job for you. I'm sure that you are well aware of. Let me introduce you to everyone. This is he points over to the wood elf, the female wood elf. This is Urim. Then over to the halfling. This is Ada. And then the human is Kenna. But it's nice to finally meet you. Thank you for the job opportunity. It was, like I was telling Alifan, it was pretty easy. No complications or anything, so it's always a plus.
No, I'm there.
No, I'm there.
Beckett was probably already out there. He was probably just hanging out with Saren.
Mm-hmm.
And is like watching.
Nice to meet you.
I am Reksha.
Alright.
Zaknafein.
From across the room. Beckett.
It's nice to meet everyone. Well, if you ever need anybody else to take on jobs, so you paid quite well, so we're always available.
Are you guys stationed here in Port Zoon? Do you guys have?
Yes, we all live here.
All right, great.
Mhm.
Yeah. If stop me if I'm wrong, guys, but if you are available and willing, we could easily make this a more permanent thing. If you go out under the Iron Line banner ahead of, knowingly, this was a little bit caught us off guard, but if we have proper time ahead of time, we can get you properly outfitted with Iron Line logos to establish that you are safe under our banner.
He looks back over to everybody, and they all kind of nod in agreement. Yeah, I think everybody here is happy to join you.
How long have you been doing this on your own?
Oh, on and off for, 10 plus years or so. We've
I kind of look at the rest of the group like,
They're better than us.
yeah, that's what I thought.
If you were going to rank yourself on like a scale from 1 to 20, where would you put yourself?
20.
kind of gives you an odd look.
On your
Looks back
skill
at-
level.
Looks back at everybody, like he looks back at all of his friends behind him. It didn't seem like he knows what to say.
One is not bad. I
but-
mean, on a sense of like journeyman to like to master adventure.
Ada, the female halfling, the one wearing the robes, will speak up. We're definitely like maybe a 15.
Wow. That's great, but just so you know, we only work with 20s here, so keep getting those numbers up. Just kidding. We're happy to
I'm
have
kidding.
you.
No.
No, yes, we we could probably find more work for you.
Yeah, we had a couple things.
What was Zach gonna say?
Yeah, Zach.
Oh, I was just gonna hold up my hand and say, "Welcome to the Iron Line," if you're in it.
Lyric will speak up again. Well, thank you. He takes your hand. That is great news. We were hoping that you would be hiring more permanently. So,
yeah. Allie will probably be the one who helps you find some jobs. We'll have her contact you once we have something else lined up, but she'll be the one that you speak to. If there's anything specific with like getting equipment, you can go to her, finding jobs, all of that. We're still kind of like setting up our forge in here, so.
Yeah, the forge will be about, you said 15 days, brother, right?
A little bit shorter now. It's been a few days.
They've started.
Oh, okay, so like about like less than a 10-day then.
Yeah.
So yeah, going forward, we could work on getting you guys properly equipped next time. Won't be so last minute.
Sure. I mean, we typically have our gear that we're used to, but I mean, upgrades are never a bad thing, so we'll appreciate that.
All right. Well, that means I got a lot more work to do, a lot more patterns to do. So I'm going back up to work because I'm now realizing I have to do 4 outfits,
Sure.
4 Iron Line logos and stuff. So,
but before they leave, they'll walk over and say hello to Amir. Anybody that wants to can make an insight check. As these individuals walk over and talk with Amir.
27.
That would be
Okay.
25.
An unnatural 1.
21, which I thought was pretty good until 2 other people said theirs.
Well, everyone except for Tremayne and Zach that hasn't rolled. So, especially Dumka and Reksha, because Beckett, you've only known Amir for a couple days now, but they typically she typically stays to herself and doesn't really speak unless like spoken to, and even when that happens, says very little. However, when these 4 individuals walk over and talk with her, she seems to be a little bit more talkative. It seems like maybe she's known these 4 for quite some time, and it seems like there was a reason why she recommended them for that job out of like just random people off the street type of thing.
Did Amir say like having a history of adventuring, or was she always just apprentice working as a smith?
All she told you is she's worked as a smith, and I don't believe you all really asked anything really else. So
I was just going to lean over and I was just going to be like, Amir seems to have a lot of contacts. She also knew about different smithing companies to get us in contact with.
No, I'm supposed to be the one that makes all the connections in Port Zoon. I'm a little jealous.
If you make connections with someone who makes a lot of connections, then you've technically made double the connections.
You're so right.
So, but they stay for maybe 5-10 minutes before Amir kind of shoos them off because she's going back to overseeing the work of the construction of the forge. And they leave. As if they see any of you all on the way out, they'll say bye, just being polite. It seems like these individuals are friendly. The one that talks the most would be Lyric, which is the gnome individual. Seems to be like he's maybe the person that communicates the most out of the 4. But they'll leave, and you have 4 new employees, it seems. So,
do we add that to the character sheet? We know.
So you can if you want, yeah.
Add people.
More in our inventory.
Add people into our inventory.
Just adding people.
I actually think this would be a good place to take a break. It's already 8:40. Does that sound good to everybody else?
Yeah,
Yeah,
works
sure.
for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll take a little break here, and we'll be back momentarily. So stick around and see what else happens on this 15-day time jump. So, be back in a little bit. we are back. Sorry it took a little bit longer than normal, but we are back nonetheless. So, a few discussions while we were on break. I believe Tremayne has something to bring up to the group. As like probably around dinner time, one of the days.
Yeah, it's like it'll be like that day, but after I was like, "Hey Beckett, you want to come see me fight people?" But like at dinner when we're all like there just vibing, eating whatever like Reksha cooked us, like I'm gonna slip out a little piece of paper where I was doing some quick maths because I'm actually pretty good at math, and I'll put it in the middle of the table, and I'm gonna look at Reksha and Dumka, and say, so I have like kind of a big ask, but I know you two are so talented, and Ymir too. Ymir, wherever you are, I know you're talented. I need a suit of plate armor in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, Beckett is like...
That's quite a heavy...
Yes,
full suit?
Yes, and it needs to be customized to my basilisk, style. It can't just be some random suit of armor. It needs to be plate, and it needs to be ready before the 11th.
Okay, and Reksha puts a hand on the table, just like... I'm assuming since you're coming out of nowhere with this, you've done some more thinking than you're letting on?
Yeah, so, while I was walking back from the anvil, I asked around a little bit, I walked into some shops, and I was like, hey, how much does it cost to just, hire a freelance blacksmith? And they were like, oh, it's usually, 2 gold. And so, if I hired, 4 people, 4, 5, if we had, several people working to help you, the 3 of you, would that work? If Ymir and Dumka and Reksha plus a couple other people assisted, could you get that done? I know it's a lot of little parts, but if everyone is working on the little parts, then they get done really fast, right?
I look at Reksha.
Reksha's doing mental math right now, and thinking about how long it takes to make. It would be cutting it really closely. I don't remember the exact calculation that we went over for 7 people, but Reksha would say that.
You would need to be getting multiple forges working on this. Our forge is not ready, but...
Well, yeah, can't you just go to the temple?
Reksha and I can.
You can't... Is Ymir not allowed into the fiery heat of Mr. Mori?
I do not know. Ymir, you're a registered smith in the city. Are you allowed to use the temple forges?
I have some contacts that I could procure a forge if needed.
She has a lot of contacts.
You have a lot of... okay. So... helm, breastplate, greaves,
gauntlets.
Yeah, the whole...
Tassets.
Pauldrons.
Wait, how do you know what that is?
Wait.
Because he's pointing to his leg because I wear them.
I didn't realize that was the same thing.
No, yeah, it is the same thing.
Though, because you're asking, and yes, they are the same thing. These are leather greaves and leather tassets, and it's leather pauldrons are the same thing. But I do have some limited knowledge in smithing.
Limited knowledge.
I couldn't necessarily act as a... I could assist if you need. I grew up in a smith, so...
Yes. Tremayne's calculations would be cutting it close, but so if you could assist in any way possible, I think we would be able to. When do you need it by?
Before the 11th.
Slightly
less than 2 weeks.
Do you know what this reminds me of, Reksha? This reminds me of when the Zalezo had me working on making new manacles for 3 different precincts of Zalezo. And I was like, do you know how long it takes to make like chain? And they were like, get it done. And I was like, okay. I would like to be able to actually work on some armor, though. It's been a while since I've gotten to actually take up the hammer.
It's been a while since I've gotten to work on something with you as well, so...
It's been a while since we've gotten to actually talk. Okay.
I was an apprentice for a while before I decided to branch off to other ventures.
So you can, would you be able to, say, keep the forge going, operate the bellows?
Yes, absolutely.
You know all your tools?
I was doing that when I was 10 years old, so yes, absolutely.
Wow, multi-talented.
I remember when I was an apprentice. It wasn't that long ago, actually. I got rather good at it, rather quickly.
I much prefer cartography now, but I can at least be of assistance with this.
Yes, that would definitely help us be able to make it in time, possibly with a few days to spare.
We'll have to procure some metal, but that would just be a little bit of gold up front. I mean, we are in the city for it. Are you going to keep your old armor? Are we using any of its pieces, or are we're starting completely from scratch?
Just start from scratch. I already got a quote on some of the supplies when I just like explained it to some random guy in a shop. And I can go and pick that up like literally like in the morning and have it brought to the temple immediately. Like no problem there.
All right. Amir, are you ready to take the hammer to the anvil again?
Of course, it's been quite some time, so I would love to help. Especially since it's something that you hired me for, so.
That's true.
I assume you already have a design in mind too, seeing as I was the one who made your previous armor. Something along those lines?
Yes, but Zach, since you saw the armor that I was wearing before, like, can you just like really quick, like super quick right now, just sketch like a little design for what that would look like as plate? Like just really quick. I know you're super
throttles Tremayne. Every person that does art in this chat throttles Tremayne.
Yeah.
Just very quickly.
Yeah, let me just do that real quick for you, Tremayne. Yeah,
it just has to be a rough sketch. It has to be a rough sketch just right now.
Here, it's never just a rough sketch.
Take this napkin and just do it right now.
Absolutely not. I am not sketching on a fucking napkin.
Well then fine, don't ignore that. Zach doesn't want to help. You can just
I
make
will
it
help
plate.
a proper sketch it, but not with the napkin.
I would say, Reksha, you also still have the designs of the armor you did make for Tremayne originally. You still have those.
Those are in my house hanging on my wall. I didn't give them to Tremayne. They're my babies.
So you still have your original designs, which could help with making a new design for plate armor that's similar to what Tremayne is already wearing, or will be wearing.
Tell me this, Tremayne. I know there's the anonymity of it all. Are you allowed to have a sponsor? Derek's shaking his head no.
No.
Alright.
Nope. There is, the reason that I'm bringing this all up is because I have a fight on the 11th. I already invited Beckett, but, yeah. I'm fighting the woodpecker. Good old woodpecker. They wear splint, but they're also somehow, despite having all that armor on, very fast with their rapier.
I'm sorry, did you say they were called the woodpecker?
Yes, the woodpecker.
Is that
sorry? One more time.
Are these names? Are they meant to be intimidating? Are they supposed to describe your fight style, or is it like a name, like a nickname? Like how is they chose? Because you said what was yours?
The basilisk.
That's formidable. A basilisk scares at you, it's going to turn you to stone. That's something that someone can fear, but a woodpecker.
Yeah, it's because I look like I'm made of rock. That's why I chose the basilisk.
I
But
think
no
that's
one
very
actually
clever.
knows that. But
I
yeah.
mean, the woodpecker, I guess, is maybe intimidating if you're like a tree.
So, but is he fighting trees? He's fighting you, yes? You're not a tree.
I don't. Last I checked, no. I'm actually like more closer to like a rock person.
Should have called himself the pickaxe if he wanted to scare you.
Yes, they're a kind of a mix, like based off of like the fighting style and like the vibe that someone's trying to give off. So last time I fought a dragonfly.
See, that's not formidable either.
Well, yeah, I kicked their ass.
I would imagine you could just crush a dragonfly.
It was pretty close.
Well, yeah, they were like doing some sort of glowy magic thing on me, but I still kicked their ass. But yeah,
Dumka's like...
The woodpecker is like very fast and kind of hard to hit and can hit very quickly with the blade.
So wouldn't like... a better name have been like a hummingbird? Like, because they like fly around and go rather quickly. Yeah, and then but see exactly, it's still not formidable.
I'm quite sure there are. That's even worse. I'm quite sure there are some creatures out there that are more terrifying and equally as quick.
You know, with every comment you guys make,
exactly like an axe speak.
God makes it
harder. Perfect.
God is making this fight harder for me the more you troll this
All right. So what you're saying is that what you are going to do to combat them being very fast is you're just going to be encased in metal.
Yeah, right? What is a woodpecker could get its like little needle beak into the holes of chainmail, but what the hell is a woodpecker going to do against a sheet of metal?
Are you still going to do the big sword, or are you going to opt for a shield?
No, you fool. I always take my axe. I always take
the axe.
I always take Bijou into the fights. And she needs to be held with two hands.
All right. Reksha, are you good to do this?
I'm excited, actually.
I am kind of a little bit excited, too. It's good to actually work with my hands.
I could take Penelope. I will decide later.
You might want to take her for a test spin now that she's all fancy and up.
And now that she has a +1 that I just realized. Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll get all that, like, I'll go buy whatever stuff. I'll just be like, give me stuff for plate mail, and I'll, have that sent over to the temple, like, literally as soon as the shop's open.
Maybe I should come with you so you don't get the wrong stuff, because stuff for plate mail is very
especially
broad.
Customized plate mail.
Fine. We can all have a little trip in the morning to the shops, and we can pick up the stuff for the plate mail specifically. And then you work. I hire the workers.
Okay. So we'll say we're not going to go through role playing all that, but you are able to hire the correct smiths to help you achieve your plate mail within your time frame. You're able to get the right material with the help of Reksha and Dumka going with you, and Beckett if they're going with you also.
If he is asked, he will go.
One thing I will touch on, because I forgot to mention it when we were doing Beckett's, like what he was doing during the week. Saren, actually, with being on the like dock area, has found a really nice like swimming spot that they seem to, because basically the Iron Lines building is like right on the waterfront, because you could actually build a dock into your place if you wanted to. So that being said, they're very easy water access, so Saren is very happy with being able to go swimming and, you know, catching her own fish if she chooses to, that kind of thing.
On most days when we're just like working, and because I'll tell her like I'm going to be working in the forges for most of this week and next, so you are free to do as you wish.
Yeah. And she'll spend a lot of her time just kind of like napping, going for swims here and there, catching some fish. And yeah, she's just having a good old time, just getting more used to this this new home. So, but she does bring you like the tails of some fish, just to show you that She caught some food for herself, and kind of like how a dog would bring a present type thing. She does that for you. This is like for you type, yeah. But yeah. So, got your plate mail going. Zach is still doing work with the designing stuff.
Yep.
Okay. So we have Dumka and Reksha next. I think we'll go with Dumka. What would you like to be doing, other than, of course, working on this plate mail? Would you want to do anything else?
Well, so one of the things was going to be stopping by Reksha's house and having a conversation, but I think that's a really great pivot into what we will be talking about over these days together. So
yeah, of course.
Instead of that, Dumka did want to at some point check in with Cameron and the Baudelaire family.
Okay.
Maybe just like, hey, I really want to like maybe come over for a dinner one night. We can have wine. Just to want to catch up.
Yeah, you can.
Whether it's just you or with the family, that's fine.
You can definitely. The Cameron will agree to have a dinner. Invite you over to his house, his family's house, and you show up that night. Give a knock on the door. Cameron answers. Welcome, Dumka. Come on in. And he leads you over into their little dining area, because they don't have a huge house by any means. It's more of like a common home type. Mm-hmm. So that being said, that he leads you over into a dining area. He has a plate set for you, a glass already sitting there. What would you like to drink? Are we doing wine? Something a little harder? Well, what did you, or just water?
Well, not water, but I think wine is fine. Yeah, oh, sure. A nice. You know what? A white today. Normally a red, but
sure. He disappears into the kitchen, comes back out, puts a open bottle of white wine on the table, pours you and himself a glass, sits down. Yeah, it's been a while since we've talked.
It has. I'm sorry that everything with the company has been so hectic and busy.
I said you've been quite busy. I've heard good things though. Making a name for Iron Line, so that's very good to hear. And you've been on a lot of journeys. It's quite interesting. So
it is. It's been a lot of fun to be able to just see, a little bit more of the Menagerie Coast. Who knows? Maybe eventually we will get a job out for the Empire or something, and that maybe I'll get to see the Dash perhaps sometime. But baby steps. How have you been doing, or your family? Are your parents going to be joining us tonight, or?
Well, no. Unfortunately, they are not in town. You remember hearing about us wanting to head over and help with Draconia. Well, yes, unfortunately some obligations came up, and I was not able to go with them. They are actually doing that, so I had to stay behind.
Do you know if they need more funding for the rebuilding efforts? I can provide a little bit more financial assistance for them if there's some sort of trouble in that regard.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't actually talked to them since they left, but they seemed to be in high hopes when they left.
All right.
And they were going to be meeting up with some colleagues that they knew that was already there. So hopefully they made it there safe, and hopefully I hear from them soon.
If you do, tell me. Otherwise,
of course,
I can send a letter to your mother, for and hopefully bring some more gold if they need it for their efforts over there. But yes, if they get in contact with you, let me know. I want to see them. I miss them.
I will definitely. The next letter I send them, I will mention that you are missing them. So, but food should be just about done. Let me go grab it really quickly, and I'll be right back. So he runs into the kitchen. About 5 minutes pass. Are you gonna want to do anything during that time, or just gonna sit there, sip your wine?
I wanted to know, like, watching him walk around and getting a look at him. Does it look like he's been fighting?
Make an insight check.
Come on, Dumka. I'm gonna use a dice because I'm gonna remember to use a physical die.
Also, just remember you do have inspiration,
which I'm gonna use because the die betrayed me.
Yep.
Much better on the digital. 20.
Okay. 20.
Dirty. The die was a 6. 20 insight.
As you're looking and keeping a close eye as he walks back and forth, he doesn't seem to be walking with a limp or anything like that you can notice. Doesn't seem like he has any markings, like scratches or scarring that wasn't already there on his face, or any open, like any, limbs that are visible.
Okay.
So you don't see anything that would signify he's been in fights.
Okay. That makes him feel more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll sip my wine, wait for him to come back.
Yeah, and about 5 minutes goes by, brings out a nice grilled pork chop with some vegetables on the side and some potatoes. Sets down a plate in front of you. Sets down a plate in front of him. Sits down. Hopefully it's as good as it smells. We'll see. I'm not the best cook in the world, but
you are a pretty good cook, and I know, that I've had some pretty good cooking, a la my mother and also Reksha.
Yes.
So I am very, very blessed with wonderful food surrounding my life.
Hopefully this holds up to those two individuals.
But since you have not gone back to Draconia, what have you been doing?
Like I said, I some things came up with my with the church that I had to attend to, and unfortunately was not able to go with them like planned. But
is everything all right?
I'm here. Even all right is
Is it
interesting
serious?
term? It's not too serious. It's just they needed more hands. So
okay. Well, I'm happy that you're staying busy. I had wanted to ask you actually about something because of your work that you have been doing with the church.
Mm-hmm.
We went on that mission to the jungle, and
yes, you have to tell me how that went. I've always wanted to do some traveling, but you know that.
Yes, it was interesting. It looked like it was sort of it was kind of like a temple, and in it there was a lot of paintings and sculptures of what looked to be like some sort of draconic pantheon. Which I wanted to ask you about. As you know, I tried to balance my following with Bahamut as well as with Moradin. But these were... I had never heard of some of these names before, such as... Sorry, I wrote some of them down because I wanted to ask you.
Of course.
Where are they? Yes, there was this Asgorath, or Halal, Astilabor, Tamara, and no. I was able to read it because it was all in Draconic. So Dumka actually would probably be saying the Draconic names.
Yeah. Okay. Cameron thinks to himself for a little bit. I'm sorry, my friend. I don't recognize any of those names.
Really?
Yeah, they're no names that I've ever heard of from a Draconic pantheon.
There was no shrine to Bahamut or any of the ones that you've told me about. Do you think that your parents would know? Could these possibly be? I know it's strange, but it's possible that this temple had come from somewhere very far away. Could this have been a temple from old Draconia, and be sort of an older pantheon? That could be an amazing revelation for your parents.
I mean, it definitely could have been. There's a lot. He starts saying to himself, I mean, I could, in the next letter I send to my parents, I could ask them and see if they know anything. Okay. I mean, it could definitely be something that was a part of Draconia at some point and maybe escaped before its destruction. But
that is exactly what I thought. You know, if there was a possibility that some of Draconia had left or escaped, as you say, then that could be integral into restoring it to what it once was.
It's definitely something worth looking into. So I will pass that information on, and I thank you for bringing it to my attention. So, but
that was mostly what I wanted to ask you about. And if you get the chance, if you ever are by my home, we currently have a guest, a young dragonborn that we found out there.
I will try and stop by soon then and introduce myself.
Yes, just say that you are one of my friends. I think it would be good to see some of his own people. They're not Dragonborn are not super common here in Port Zoon. My mother dotes on him like another child, of course. So you might not be able to get him away from her, but I think it would be good for you to talk.
That is, I will, like I said, I will stop by as soon as I can and see if there's anything I can do to help.
Okay. And come for dinner. I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be busy for the next few weeks. I've got a big smithing job to do, but I miss you, Cameron. I want to.
I have missed you too. Yes, we'll have to get together more often.
Okay. I will.
Yeah, you will finish up eating.
Casual conversation for the rest of the night.
He'll ask you more about like your adventures that you've been on since you've been out of the city a few times. Basically just asking you questions. He's not really like, he'll answer questions if you ask, but he's not like forthcoming with, much of what he's been doing. So but you all finished food. It is quite good. Not as good as like Reksha or your mom, but it's still, tasty. But the night comes to a close. As you were leaving, he will give you a hug, and we'll say goodnight, and you all will part ways.
Okay. Good night.
Was there anything else you wanted to do?
The rest
other than
is
working on.
Yeah, the rest is just going to be working on and hanging out with Reksha. So if someone else wants to go up,
we come to Reksha unless someone else wanted to do something before that.
I had a quick question.
Okay.
Because I know that we had talked about me getting barding for Saren.
Sure.
I wanted to ask how that would work with her, because ordinarily with mounts, it does the same thing that it does for people, where it's like your dex modifier, it's like 14 plus your dex modifier, 13 plus your dex modifier. But because she's my Drake companion, her armor class is different. Her armor class is 14 plus my proficiency bonus. So I wanted to know how barding would interact with her AC.
How about, since she has that already, like the built-in,
Yeah.
how about we act like the barding would be like a shield? So we give it like a +2 on top of that. Yeah.
Okay, that
Does
works.
that sound good to you?
So how would we do that with pricing then? Because the way that barding typically works is you take like the normal armor, so like let's say it's 15 gold, and you would multiply it by 4, but it would depend on the kind of armor you're doing.
Well, let's, for now, for at least the first set, since Saren is still smaller.
Yeah, she'll need more.
We'll say for now we'll do that same thing for like a horse. So whatever you said it was 15.
Well, it would depend on, because it depends on if you want to get leather, hide, chainmail.
Okay.
The price differs depending on what it is. It's just like 4 times whatever the normal price for the armor is.
Okay. So what would you like to get her then?
I was thinking, if it was gonna work normally, I was gonna either do a studded leather or maybe a chain shirt. But because it's gonna act like a shield, it's a little different. So I just wanted to know what you would want to do there.
And we could just say you could just get your typical like studded leather or leather if you want. And as Saren, like as you level up, of course, Saren's going to be getting bigger. So it's going to, like, instead of just ×4, it will be more than that. Like
just needing
it's
to
go
continue
up
to buy
and multiplying, basically.
Yeah. Okay. So,
unless you get something like enchanted, then it would morph with, of course. But as of right now, it's just normal. So
then I guess that might be the only other thing that I want to be doing is finding somebody to commission some barding for her.
Yeah, that's easy enough. Here in this city, you could find a leathersmith that would be totally able to do that. They would just need to take measurements of Saren, of course, and after that, it would just be paying the. So you just want to do leather, so 10 times 4, so 40 gold.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Yeah, so 40 gold to get the barding made for Saren.
Okay, then I'm good.
All right. So then, Reksha.
I had one other thing. How many days has it been since we've gotten back? Like, how many days have passed, roughly?
I mean, we can say that if you want to do something, like, this basically is the whole 15 days time period. So if you want to do something on a certain day, that's fine.
I just want to, because my brother's outfit is taking more attention to detail, so he does that, like, in small bursts.
Yeah.
But during the day, he wants to be making multiple different sizes, like small, medium, large cloaks for the Iron Line to start, with kind of like shoulder padding. And I want to embroider the Iron Line logo on the back of each of these cloaks. So I'm wondering how many I can make in the span of 15 days, outside of my specified time for Dumka's outfit.
Let me find. So we'll say that is probably just going to be like common clothes, because I don't see a cloak on here. So we'll just say it's common clothes, which is
common or travelers,
probably travelers.
Yeah, we'll do travelers. Yeah. So that's 2 gold a piece.
Okay, that's
which
fine.
means that's under 50. So hold on, let me bring back up the crafting stuff really quick.
Okay. Am I paying at cost? Because I'm doing the fabric in my own designs. If I buy all the fabric.
It's half.
Okay.
Half the cost would be 1 gold, technically.
Gotcha.
Let me bring up this really quick. Crafting item. Okay, so you can complete multiple items in a work week equal to if it's lower than 50 gold. So we'll say since it's going to be intricate, like you're going to be doing a design of the logo and stuff like that on it, we'll say you can complete 1 cloak a day if you spend 8 hours on the cloak. Okay?
All right. Yep. That's fine. I'll do
and
that.
then just mark off a gold for each cloak that you make.
Okay.
And yeah.
I'll probably make 2, 4, 6, 8, 12. I'll probably make 12, like 3 of each size.
Okay. So 12 days. So you're going to be doing this for 12 days?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So just mark off 12 gold, basically. Because that's what you'll be using in raw material. And yeah.
Cool. That's what I'm working on.
Yeah. Alrighty. So, Reksha.
Okay.
I know you're helping with the plate mail. Outside of that, you're still doing a little bit of training with Tremayne in the morning before heading off to the forge. Yep. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the third and final roll on this. So let's see. We did athletics for strength, athletics for intelligence. Let's make it a athletics but dexterity instead of...
Oh no.
This will determine how good you are with actually controlling the weight and...
Do I also need to roll this?
Yes.
Oh no.
I
Ooh.
rolled a natural 20. Why am I rolling so good for this? This means I'm gonna die in this fight.
Okay.
I rolled a 19 minus 1, so 18.
Okay, and then you also have proficiency, of course, if you're proficient in athletics. Proficiency bonus to it too, if you want.
I got a 26.
And that's a 19 plus 2.
Okay. So
it's 21.
You both succeed on this check. However, since you did have 1 failure, it will take more time than the 15 days that we are skipping through. So it's going to take you about another... If you're keep up this training, like every morning like you have been for the next 5 days or so, you'll have proficiency in mauls. It's just something you'll have to do for another 5 days after the 15 days. So... All right. So, what else? I know, like I said, you're doing plate armor.
Yeah.
Do you want to do anything else?
He's pretty much on standby because he has like a really busy schedule anyway. Because he has to train in the morning, and then now he has this blacksmithing stuff, and then he also does work for the church. So, I mean, if he has any off time, he's spending most of it practicing like off on his own, his holy magic and doing stuff like that. Just so he can keep that bond with Mr. Mori tight. Best friends, BFFLs, best board friends for life. But he's also going to, because I just remembered to do this, he's gonna, I think I already took, I don't know if I took the money off. Let me see if it's in my equipment. No, I didn't. So he's going to go into town, and he's probably going to look for a gem shop.
Okay, sure. Anything specific that you're looking for, like gem-wise, or?
Diamonds.
Diamonds?
Yeah.
In a specific, like, cost value?
Very specifically, 100 gold.
Okay. How many of those did you want to buy?
I'm going to, let's see.
Revivify can use multiple diamonds.
Yeah, it doesn't just be a 1. Gold. Yeah.
Okay, well then the combined cost of the diamonds will be 400 gold.
Okay, so yeah, that's easy enough. With a lot of craftsmen in the city, you can find, even if you have to go 2 different places to find the diamonds, you're able to find the 400 gold worth of diamonds.
Okay.
The more likely these are probably diamonds that are worth like 50 gold, maybe a few 25s.
Okay.
Not any that's like worth 100, but you have 400 gold worth of diamonds now.
Yeah,
so.
I'll just add collective amount of diamonds.
That's totally fine.
And then doing that, he'll probably use one of his channel divinities on his off time to take those diamonds and then make a chain necklace with them attached.
Okay.
And like, it doesn't have to be a fancy design, but he's just gonna put that on, and then he's just gonna wear it underneath all his stuff and just keep that on his person.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I like that. Did Dumka and Reksha? I know Dumka said that you wanted to maybe talk to Reksha. Did you want to do that now, or?
Does anyone else have anything?
Yeah, like we're,
I have something minor, but like it's fine.
Well, what is
like,
it?
Oh, I was just gonna say that on his evenings he goes out.
Okay.
As a Dark Phoenix, but if nothing of note happens, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so Dumka, working with Reksha on this, I feel like it's like business in the beginning, sort of like deciding what part of our of Tremayne's suit do you think we're making?
I would say, because we're the main characters, the chest piece. Because
I agree.
It's the cool part.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's got all of those plates.
Yeah, and only we could make the vision with the hands that go. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, because of the design, we basically have to make another set of gauntlets on the chest. So, but as they're working, Dumka would just kind of be like, it has been very good to actually get some one-on-one time with you. Beckett helping when he does, but it's nice to get to talk with you one-on-one. I kind of thought that when we started the Iron Line that it was going to be a good excuse to get to talk to you more. And then we were so busy. And honestly, you've been spending all of this time with Tremayne, with training, so...
It has been quite an eventful month, I will agree.
It has been a very, very eventful month. You've seen more of the world than you have had in your collective years, have you not?
I definitely have. I loved the forest, as dangerous as the jungle, as dangerous as it might have been. I have to be honest, wasn't too fond of that big city.
You didn't like Nikojanas?
It was nice, but it was really... It's already pretty busy here.
It's nice to be able to breathe clean air and see diverse peoples all around. I get where you are coming from. It is very loud and dense, but that is why I love it.
I'm very big. Dense does not go well.
There is enough room for you in Nikodranas. There is enough room for you anywhere, because if you do not have the space, I am sure that you will make it. You thought that Port Zoon was going to be too much? And that you met me, and I made a space for you, and look at you. Now you have your own home, you have your garden, your cooking, your job here at the temple. You've really done a lot with yourself in just such a short amount of time. I am almost jealous, but I am mostly proud.
I try to make it a habit of getting settled quickly anywhere I need to go. You never know when you might need to just pack up and head somewhere else. So it's good to stay on the move. I'm glad that you took the time to welcome me, though.
Of course. How could I not? You were so interesting. But, no, do not me. You were probably one of the most interesting people to ever come in the city. I would hope that if you ever had to move on, that you would at least tell me first so I could decide whether or not to go with you.
I don't have any plans on moving anytime soon, but if I do make those plans, you will be the first person I let know.
If I ever planned a trip to go back to Marquette to go see my father, would you like to come with me there?
I don't know where that is.
It is very, very far away, on practically the other side of the world. It is a very long ship ride, but have you ever...
ship ride. Yes, ship ride.
Yes, we would have to cross the oceans. But Marquette is like nothing that you would ever be able to see pretty much in the entire Menagerie Coast, or honestly on the continent in general. There are large sweeping deserts. It is like a completely different world. But I long for it sometimes. I took it for granted when I was young, and I miss it now in my adult years.
Taking things for granted as a youth is not a bad thing. In fact, I'd say it's what you're supposed to do.
And your wisdom holds true even now, in the middle of ding, ding, working on this. But you did not answer me. Would you want to come and see Marquette sometime? I have no current plans, but eventually I would like to go see my father, and I would like you to meet him.
Seeing new places does sound fun, yes, and especially seeing where you came from would be very much of interest to me.
I think you would really like my father's side of the family. They're hard workers. They are very strong. They're very proud. I'm sure that they would be very welcoming to you.
If they are all of those, then it is easy to see where you came from. Ting!
Ting! Ting! I have gotten a little bit of my mother's...
daintiness?
No.
Oh.
No. Appreciation for fine things is what I was going to say. Dainty, no. She is not a dainty woman. My father here, maybe, but I do not think that I get anything from him. No. Have you seen Zach? No, there is not a dainty bone in our mother's body. All of this talk with the dragons and the lifeblood and everything has got me really confused. You know, I mean, I can point to so many different sources for what makes this, and some of them seem more important than others. And now I have this, and I don't know what that means, and I don't want it, but I don't really know how to get rid of it. Honestly, if you wanted it and you were able to take it from me, I would just give it to you right here. I've always wanted fame, but I guess fame is sort of like a shackle chained with responsibility.
Yes, and I could have told you that, but I believe it's a lesson that is better learned through experience. And you are experiencing it.
I can believe in that, but I do not think that I necessarily needed to experience something melting into my throat. I think that there was a different experience I could have had that was a little bit more safe.
Experience comes in different ways for different people, and for someone so sturdy, I think you could have handled worse.
I am very sturdy, and that is true. But I don't know. It just brings up so many questions, you know? If this is actually the lifeblood, does that mean that all of the other ones exist? Does that mean what Shashay was saying in the story and what Beck said he had heard in the story? Do you think that there's true?
I believe that every story has truth in it. So whether or not it is 100% true, the lifebloods do definitely exist. Or one of them exists.
Well, because there was the talk about my ancestor. And I wonder if maybe he has a lifeblood. It? I do not know. I don't even really... I've never met it. I've only heard about it. I don't know. I just feel... Ting! Really confused. Ting! So it's nice to be able... Ting! To just work on this. Ting! Because this I know. Magic I don't know, but it comes to me. And Dumka, I like to believe that in Dumka's smithing, he does like to do little bits of like electricity on the metal. That definitely does not help metal at all, but I think it looks really cool to imagine him kind of Thor lightning hammering this stuff. So in Rule of Cool, I imagine that he does that, and maybe even now with the lifeblood can like help churn the fire in the forge and kind of bring that out. So we doing magic forging.
Yeah, I was literally about to say the way Reksha does it is that if he has the spell slots, he would probably heat metal just to get it really hot and easier to work with without necessarily needing to always have it in the forge. Cheating.
Definitely doable.
On the days that Beckett is assisting us, it would be like everyone else is like, puts it in the forge, takes it out of the forge. Dumka and Reksha are like, shoots lightning at it, like melds and moves the fire with our magic, and we're just making this plate with and bending it with our like bare hands with magic.
Oh yeah, we both have resistance to fire too, so we can just grab it.
Yeah, we can just.
Still hurts, but you could do that if you want.
We probably still have gloves, but like maybe we have like metal gloves, and we can like we can be like, so we can get really like.
So closer to the end of the time that it's taking to make the armor for Tremayne. Reksha, as you are hammering away at Tremayne's armor, your mind is in a peaceful place, and everything else just seems to melt away from vision. Soon after, the sound of the hammer hitting the metal has this rhythm that is very hypnotic. The sound starts to fade to the background of your mind as you take a deep breath. Your vision changes. You're now overlooking the city of Port Zoon. The wind picks up. The wind starts moving the smoke and soot from the forges into a dark twister you are in the center of. Your breath leaves your lungs and you start coughing terribly, feeling your lungs are filling up with this smoke and soot. You start grasping at your throat with your hands, and the twister subsides, but you are no longer overlooking Port Zoon. You are looking at a large crescent. The settlement is built across a series of 5 small land masses that rise above a water line. These land masses are connected by bridges, and each of the city's districts is built atop one or more of these islands. The air is thick with humid air, stinking of stale water and mildewed wood. The marsh is large and ancient that is surrounding the city. Just as another twister starts forming, you start to hear screams of terror coming from the marsh. Then a single voice rings out over the rest, says in a very deep, booming voice, "Help them." The twister starts to block your vision, but this time instead of smoke and soot filling your lungs, you have a humid, stale air, making it hard to breathe once again. You start hearing the tinging of the hammer once again, taking the foreground of your mind. You blink and notice that you are still hammering away at your work. And that is where I think we'll end for this week. And we'll pick that up in 2 weeks' time.
Wait.
Okay.
Reksha, get your head out of the furnace!
He's been huffing fumes. He's hallucinating. We gotta get
Go
him
for
out of
a
here.
walk!
Go for a walk. Get some
Drink
fresh
some
air.
water!
But yeah. So hopefully everybody had fun. Thank you for watching.
Don't forget to check
everyone
out
that-
Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle Games.
Yes. And don't forget to join our Discord. We have some conversations going on in there. So, but until next time, don't forget to add your proficiency bonus. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Love you. Bye.